dogs are barking.
Hello, I think we're live. Hello, welcome to episode 14 of The Dead Within. And tonight's episode, in theory, I think we may be the big conclusion to this campaign. We will see, but
oh no!
It's crashed today.
Oh,
what's going on?
Oh, it's uncrashed. It's uncrashed.
Hello. Yeah. Apparently, I get little messages saying that my internet connection is slightly unstable, but let's persevere and see what happens. Okay, so let's introduce everyone as usual. Lynne, hello. Who are you playing, and what's your sanity?
Hello, I'm Frances Ball, private investigator. I believe it's 35 and rapidly plummeting.
Okay, great. And Jema, how are you? And who are you playing?
I
and what's your
was
sanity?
fine. I'm playing Georgina Sullivan, and my sanity is 38. I'm just going to go and cough for a bit. Sorry.
Okay. And hi, Becky. And who are you playing? And what's your sanity look like?
Hello, I'm Eleanor Wright, and my sanity can be any number except for 32 because my character sheet is still broken, but it is currently 34.
Okay. And hello, Jayson. And who are we playing? And what's Maxime's sanity?
You just answered it for me then. I am playing Maxime Lawrence Elliot. My sanity is probably the best it's been all campaign because it's back to full.
How did you manage
Luck on the
that?
other hand.
Wow.
Quite lucky with improvement scores. Or like sanity replenishment, but luck on the other hand, no.
You rolled the sanity thing on the improvement thing?
But yeah, for the rewards, like whenever we got a reward, I just got quite lucky.
Oh, I see what you mean. I was really confused there for a moment.
We have Frances, Georgina, and Eleanor. Have all reached the dizzying heights of indefinite insanity as well. Maxime, fortunately, had a temporary bout of insanity, but has overcome that now and is his old self again. But the others are, more or less okay. However, they seem to keep having these moments of that. Hopefully, nothing like that will happen tonight. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So, what happened last time? I hear you all asking. So, let's give you an answer. Becky, I think you were going to recap a little bit on what happened last time.
Yes, and I appear to have trolled myself with my own notes. So, as the session started, I recall we were in a forest and we were surrounded by these Zalosny, you've called them, these spindly creatures that are sort of humanoid but not. And Maxime was just an outright legend. Killed one with a whiskey bottle, and when another one pounced on me, and I was quite wounded by that actually, but he charged that one through, picked me up, dragged me forward, and then slayed another one on the way. I seem to recall it was like a one-man Zalosny killing machine. So the next note I have is, whilst I was wounded, the rest of the party's great speed and cowardice kept them safe. That is what I've written. We then made it to the other world, and Georgina and Frances went a little bit off the rails. I seem to recall corralling them with deceit in order to get them going in roughly the right direction, whilst waiting for them to regain their sense of composure. But it was Maxime, I believe, whose dead friend turned up to give us the moral dilemma, which of course I'd already decided what we were going to do there, so there's no dilemma at all, really, except maybe for Maxime. Then there was some panic because I feared for a while that this price that we'd been told we would have to pay for casting this spell, I was convinced that it would be the person who cast it would become Huber. like be the vessel of Huber or something as we summoned Huber back into his original realm. As far as I know, that's not the case. We seem to have got away with it. But I did lose/win the coin toss and end up as the person who would have to do the spell. So then Huber arrived, and well, we exercised great athleticism, I believe. Although I was mostly screaming. I was screaming a lot, and then I screamed some more. And then on top of the screaming, I thought I'd ice it with some more screaming. My notes here get a little bit chaotic. I think I may have been struggling with some sanity. It reads something like this. I am the world saver. I save 2 worlds. I am blessed. A gift. A present to be unwrapped. Take my mind, Huber. It screams for you. I think I wrote my notes in character. So we arrived at the farmhouse, or a farmhouse, to which my final note here is the words, the most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the GM to correlate all of their indefinitely insane players. Which is
you were also quite snarky at me because I didn't bother to bring a camera into an alternate dimension and or world in the middle of a ritual, because like I was planning on photographing Huber. So yeah, some of us have got to go back to to pick up the camera.
And just to clarify, they did do the ritual, and it apparently seemed to have worked. And they called that word, Huber apparently back to its home dimension of Zoth, and they managed to escape back to Earth, leaving it, there apparently. So they have rested up in a farmhouse nearby with Anna's friends, Tatiana and Peter. And but as Lynne says, Francis didn't bring the camera, and the next day you have a meeting arranged with John Pallas at noon to talk about spy stuff and the actual what's going on at the Labour camp building the Bellamore Canal. And you've decided that you do need the camera now. And so we'd left it that Francis and Georgina had got up early the following day, had a bit of breakfast, and then were trudging back to Medvedevia Goya to pick up the camera while Eleanor and Maxime had a lie-in.
I would like to point out
pretty much where we left it.
We did not know we would be going to a farmhouse nearer to where we were having the meeting with Palliser when we set off to go do the whole saving the world thing. If Anna had told us this, I would have taken the camera. I thought we were going back to her place afterwards.
Yeah, well, sure. I guess Anna didn't know you were going to do a bit of spying, which could have made an allowance for that, perhaps. But never mind. Okay, so you two trudge off. I presume you're just heading back to. You left the camera at Anna's house, didn't you? Rather than Bilham's place. Okay, so you head back there. It's a few hours. It's was it about a 4-hour walk or so? Meanwhile, I presume Eleanor and Maxime are having a lie-in and are taking it easy and resting up, unless you want to do anything specific. Okay. Right. Okay. So it's early morning. It's a bit of a trudge, but you've had a bit of a rest. You've had a good breakfast, and you arrive eventually at Anna's cottage, and you see Anna's mother, Zoya, and she, is obviously keen to hear, is everyone okay? She's kind of, while she's not completely up to speed on everything you've been up to, she's aware that there's been stuff going down, and Anna's not with you. So, she's interested to know that, Anna's okay and all that kind of thing. I presume, I don't know how much you tell her or if anything at all, really.
I think we just say that everything went better than expected, and Anna's just staying over with some friends for a bit of a rest, and she'll be back soon.
And the souls have been restored where they should have been all along, because obviously there was Anna's daughter was one of them. So
Okay.
yeah.
She sort of says, like, Bella is at peace now.
Yes, she is.
But she seems kind of, seems happy about that. But you can see there's a bit of a sadness in the fact that Bella's not going to be around anymore. But there you are. So unless you want to do anything else, you pick up the camera, have a quick cup of tea or coffee, and I guess turn straight back around. Really, it's a good.
We hadn't left anything else important behind, had we, Francis?
I don't think we did. I mean, let's face it, we took all the sharp, pointy, sticky things with us.
Yeah. Ought we to take like our suitcases and ought we to take the suitcases or?
We'd have to go back to what's his faces to get those.
Oh yes.
I don't know about you. I'm not carrying theirs as well.
No, good point.
It's just, we're gonna have to we're probably gonna have to make a rapid exit from the country. Let's just go and grab stuff as we need it on the way.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Leave all your other stuff at the colony where you first decamped. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so you start making your way back. It's a good. You're going to be rushing toward, because you've got to be meeting Palliser at 12. So you set up reasonably early. Set up early to allow for that. So but it is a trudge there and back. If you want to make a luck roll, whoever's got the lowest luck out of the two of you, we'll see if you may be able to speed up your journey a little.
I've got 27 luck at the moment.
I'm on 28, so it's your roll.
It's my roll. Oh God, come on. Got 3 sets of percentiles set out here, so if this one displeases me, I shall be moving on to another set. Come on. Good. Oh, 51. No, that's a fail. Move on to the next
a little too far away. Just a little too far away to kind of get his attention is a farmer on a sleigh who probably is going in the direction, but he's just too far ahead to kind of hear you calling to get a ride. Unfortunately, what a shame. That would have been really handy. So you carry on walking. Francis, can I get a spot hidden roll from you, please?
You can try. What is spot hidden? Oh, 61%. Okay, we'll try the next set of percentiles. Are you going to be better behaved than your brethren? You are going to be better behaved than your brethren. Excellent. Yes, that's a success.
Okay. As you're, well beyond the town now, into the countryside, going through some trees, you spot a figure, kind of some way ahead, but there's something familiar about their form.
God.
You kind of, as the closer you get, you kind of start to. It kind of doesn't make sense, but it looks like Uncle Harry.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting you to say.
He seems to be. He seems to be doing so. He's got something. Seems to be fiddling with something in his hands, sort of standing, kind of shuffling rather than standing, but not really going anywhere. Kind of waiting, perhaps waiting for you or something.
Okay.
What do you want to do? Do you want to go over towards him, or?
I'm going to give Georgina the camera.
Okay, isn't that your Uncle Harry?
It looks like him. Here, look, you stay here and look after this. I'm going to go over and talk to him, but be prepared to make a run for it with the camera. The others need the camera.
Okay. I mean, if you think he's dangerous, Francis, I don't think you should,
But he shouldn't
be careful.
Be here for a start.
Well, no. All right, go. All right, be very careful.
You just stay.
All right.
You just stay here.
I'll stay here.
But be ready to
And
run.
you're approaching, yeah?
Yeah.
As you get a bit closer, you can hear that he's crying. Kind of the head's kind of bowed a bit and sort of crying, kind of sniffling and crying.
Harry?
He looks up and you can see he's got these red kind of bags under his eyes, and the tears are kind of really flowing out of his eyes. But he kind of looks, and he has this kind of strangely kind of sour expression on his face, and he shouts like, "It's all your fault. You've killed me again."
No, Harry. No, I didn't kill you the first time. And you were never really alive again the second time.
Can you make a spot hidden roll, please?
Come on, Di. Be good. Be good.
I'm kind of thinking about
No,
this.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm sure.
It's Gottman.
Yeah, I'm sure someone said that they weren't really real. They weren't actually our dear departed. They were kind of part of Hoover. So thinks Georgina at a safe distance.
It's like, come on, Harry. Now
fiddling.
This...
As you say that, he you see this penknife in his hands, and he holds it up, and he says, "You kill me for the last time," and he starts to push the penknife into his neck to cut across it.
Okay, I can't, as miserable and horrible as he's being, I'm not having that. So I shall try and stop him.
Okay. Can I have a brawl roll, please?
Brawl? Are you sure? Not strength? Actually, it's not that much different, to be honest.
Well, it's kind of
dice.
grabbing a weapon in a combat-y way kind of thing.
No. Okay, you dice naughty dice. Third
Okay.
set.
And you kind of got your hands on him, but he seemed just too strong. You just can't seem to prise the knife or his hands away as he kind of basically takes your hands as he slits his throat, and blood kind of washes down over his hands and you. Could I have a sanity roll, please?
Oh god. Okay, this is the third set of dice tonight already. This is not good. 35, wasn't it? 04. Aha!
Okay. Lose 1 point.
Oh man!
Lose 1 point as you realize this hallucination then vanishes in front of you, but it doesn't send you into a bout of madness, but it does drain your sanity by 1 point. The experience, as you think back on it, as you have just realized your mind rationalized that you just hallucinated that. Clearly that didn't really happen, did it?
Yeah,
or maybe it did,
no,
but you're telling yourself it didn't.
It didn't.
And obviously now you think about, you look by and Georgina is just looking aghast at you, kind of wondering what you've been doing, because obviously in reality, Georgina, you didn't say any of that. That's all what Frances heard in her head that you were saying, because she was hallucinating. So you just saw Frances run off into the woods screaming, and sort of saying, "No, don't do that, Uncle Harry," kind of thing. And she kind of looks around and she looks, a little bit wet, starry-eyed.
Are you all right, old chap?
Yeah, I think I've just been overdoing it a bit. I think we all have. Is the camera all right?
Yes, the camera's fine.
Yeah, I think maybe we all
come on, let's get back and
yeah.
Coffee. A sit down. You can tell me all about it on the way.
That sounds good. I might have a quick nip from my hip flask while we're on the way.
Okay. So you double time it back with thoughts of Uncle Harry in your head, and there's a little voice of doubt in your head, kind of like, did we do what we thought we did? I think we did, but I don't know. There's a little wedge of doubt in your mind. However, you arrive back at the farmhouse without any further ado, where Eleanor and Maxime are now, fully up and dressed, had a nice breakfast, big steaming pot of coffee, but well refreshed, and haven't trudged 8 hours back and forth through the snow. And you've got, you've just got time to down another cup of coffee before you have to set out in time for 12 o'clock to get to Povinet's. Eleanor and Maxime, Georgina and Francis look like they've been through the wars. They're covered in snow, and look very hot and bothered. But they're here, and Francis has a camera, so it's all good.
So, are we all ready?
Yes. Do you want any food? Any coffee?
Well, we ought to get going, and we can eat on the move. If there's we can have a sandwich or something.
Anna kind of, what do you want to do or say to Anna? I mean, at the minute she's at the farmhouse, she's saying, she presumably, you've told her you're heading towards Povinet, so she's giving you the directions, but she's offered to kind of, go with you. It's entirely up to you.
Well, it might be an idea for her to show us the way to Povinet's, but I think once we get there, she needs to head home because she needs to be as far away from this as possible.
Yes, I agree. Let's not let Anna get mixed up in the spy business. I mean, if she can just put us on the right road, then we'll be fine.
But yeah, she does not want to be seen with us, and we certainly don't want her hanging around once we've made contact with Palliser.
Yeah, well, she'll walk, part way with you. Make sure you're heading in the right direction. Then you can tell her to head back, I guess. So
before she goes, I'm going to give her a picture of Bella that I drew, that I sketched at the farmhouse as a memento for her and her mother.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all good. She sort of. I mean, do you tell her this is goodbye, or is it?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, she hugs you all and says thank you, and it's that kind of strange thing that she kind of knows she'll never see you again, but she kind of says she hopes she'll see you again, and all that kind of thing. So it's a kind of a strange goodbye to some degree. It's probably
no doubt
slightly
we'll meet
more emotional.
Once we die.
It's mixed emotions. But she does put you on the right track, and basically you got to head through this bit of forest, and then basically follow the edge of the lake. You'll go through this bit of wood. You come to the edge of the lake again. Follow that round, and Provenet's is on the the far shore, basically from where you originally started. So you're walking through the woods. Can I have a spot hidden roll from anyone who would like to make it?
Yes.
Yes, that would be a hard success.
No,
Okay.
I'm far too emotional about saying goodbye.
There are no goodbyes. We all end in the same lake.
Well, who's cheery after the lie-in then?
Eleanor's gone proper nihilist.
Yeah.
There's two things you kind of, before you make a spot hidden roll, most of you, and probably Eleanor particularly, realize this looks like where I drove past when I left the villa. So, and the rest of you kind of get the impression that we must be near to where Krylov's villa was. That it's probably over there beyond the trees kind of thing. But the road you can see from the forest where you're walking through is there. And that, definitely, Eleanor, kind of, you think, yeah, that's the road you went down. But Francis, you as you kind of realise this, you notice ahead by the roadside, you see some smoke coming up, and you can see there is what looks to be two soldiers who are kind of shuffling and stamping their feet to keep warm by this kind of brazier, and well, they look like they're kind of maybe like some kind of roadblock or guard thing, on the way towards Krylov's villa. The way you're heading at the moment, you will kind of walk quite near to them, so it's obviously quite likely they will see you. But at the minute, you kind of spotted them before they've seen you, so it's your choice whether you want to kind of give them a wide berth, take a little longer, but or you could just go, walk through the roadblock and see what happens. It's up to you, really.
If we take a bit longer, will we still get to meet Palliser on time?
Maybe. Difficult to know. I mean, you think you're probably going to you'll be cutting it very fine if you do, and there's a risk of being a bit late, but you don't know the land, that the area that well. That's kind of what you have to take a little bit of a risk.
I think it might be better if we avoid any Soviet entanglements, but it could be.
You have a camera.
I do have a camera. That might not be a good thing to walk past a bunch of soldiers with.
No, and if they stop us and tell us we can't go that way, we're going to have to go out of their eye shot and round anyway.
So yeah, let's
go off piste, but double time it.
We do have rifles.
No.
I meant one of us could detour off and draw them out in the wrong way. Shoot at some trees.
But then potentially they might get caught or shot, depending how efficient the soldiers are.
Yeah, and we can see those two. We don't know if there's more.
I mean, it's a good idea, Eleanor, but I think if we split up at this point, it's a bit...
Yeah, let's just stick together.
I think...
Slight detour, and then just trundle as fast as we can.
Okay. If I was a cruel keeper, I'd probably make you make some sort of hard no roll or navigate roll to just see how lost you go. But
oh God,
we will skirt past that. And you kind of, with Anna's, as you had some good directions from Anna, we will skirt past that, and you go out.
Mike, however, has obviously got waylaid. Oh no! Come back to us, Mike. Do not go off the path.
Hello.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Hello. I've got this it's a strange internet thing tonight. Where's
I think we know.
And again, it captures him.
He's going off piste once more. Okay. All right. I think we better pause.
Hello?
No,
he's back.
He's back.
I'm here. I can hear you all.
Oh. He can hear us, but we can't hear him. The tension is.
Yes. Well, anyway. You get by the guards, and you arrive in Pobby.
It's just obviously far too exciting for his internet connection.
Yeah.
Have I frozen again?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's the shirt.
Are you back?
Am I back? I don't know.
Well,
yes,
back.
You're back.
I'm back.
A little bit.
Okay. Okay. You arrive in Pobinets, and it's about half the size of Medvedevia Gora, and it is number of houses. It's half the size. A lot of wooden timber houses. You see, people going about. A lot of workers, male and female. doing various things and chores and whatnot. And you can see, it's pretty visible as you come into town, there's a church. It looks kind of more or less on the far side of the town from where you are. Because I'm still here, am I?
You
Yeah.
are, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're just enraptured.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you see the church. It's got a strange kind of square, kind of squat, kind of square spire surrounded by smaller kind of onion dome, spires. They're very kind of Russian in that way. And it's fairly easy to get to because you can see it from where you are, and it's a bit of a landmark. It's probably the tallest building in the town. So I what plan just heading to the church.
Let's just go there.
Yeah, we'll go straight there.
Okay. As you approach the church, you can see there's a kind of a river or some sort of drainage ditch kind of running off to its side. And as you get closer, you realize, no, this is maybe part of the canal, because there's workers in it sort of digging and moving timber down the line and wheelbarrows and things like that. And, various sort of male and female workers. No sign of Palliser from where you're standing outside. What's your plan? It's about I think it's going to be about literally 12 o'clock as you just arrive.
Go into the church. I'm assuming it's Russian Orthodox.
Looks like it.
Don't know. Do you know anything that one should do in a Russian Orthodox church, Francis?
Probably pretty much the same thing you do in a Catholic church.
Throw the holy water around?
No, don't do that. No.
Are you all going inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, he told us to meet him at the church or in the church.
I can't remember actually. But let's go inside and have a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're trying to sell this whole
go
tourist thing.
You go inside to the main doors. Yeah. Inside, you see that that there's there's nothing very church inside. It seems to have all been stripped clear. There's no altar or ornamentation anywhere, and instead there's lots of stacks of timber, wheelbarrows, pickaxes, shovels, buckets, and there's a group of men and women in kind of work overalls, some with clipboards, who, as you walk in, it kind of looks like they're doing a stock check. Again, not one of them is Palliser, though.
Turn around and go straight back out again, because obviously this is no longer a church. Opiate of the masses, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The workers don't, they turn and they kind of give you a quick look when you come in, but none of them say anything or even, they just turn back to what they're doing, to be honest. They don't do anything. But as you say, you walk out again, kind of quickly sort of turn around. As you come out, you see, having just arrived, John Palliser. He's with a man wearing kind of a military cap and uniform. They seem to be talking quite intensely. They're they're a little distant. They're not they're not actually by the church, but they're kind of walking towards it. What do you want to do?
Duck immediately behind a gravestone.
I was going to say, well, get somewhere where we can watch them. I don't like this. He was supposed to come on his own.
Be a little bit inconspicuous, yeah.
Yeah, I think Maxime would maybe just nip out his opera glasses to see if he can detect more in their body language, like if they're angry or something like that.
Oh, no, Mike's body language is frozen again.
Yes, it's stock still.
Oh no, he's back.
Oh
There
no,
we go.
he's back.
Okay. Maxime, you see through the binoculars that Palliser does occasionally keep look. He's not turning his head a great deal, but he is looking about him with his eyes. He looks. Your guess is he's looking for you, it's at one point he kind of sees you looking, and he gives you a quick kind of wink with his eye to say, "Yeah, I've seen you." And as he's talking, he kind of nods his head towards the church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What Maxime will give a signal to the others to kind of go back in the church.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Nonchalantly.
Okay.
Not. Yeah.
A few minutes later, and Palliser comes in alone. He kind of just nods at you all and kind of points you towards the other side of the church, kind of the opposite side where these workers are. He kind of turns his back to them, so he's kind of almost facing the wall with you there with him. He basically just turns and says, we need to be quick. And as he says that, he pulls a sizable sheaf of papers from inside his pocket of his greatcoat and says, these are the names, places of birth.
Suspense. Okay, you're going to need daylight to photograph these, aren't you, Francis?
He says, you take these. It's from all over the country, all the arrests. These men and women have been delivered here over the last 2 weeks. The pace is getting faster. This is the evidence you're going to need. And these, he produces a second stack of papers, and we're talking 2 stacks of papers, this thick each kind of thing. These are various papers from the Corrective Labour Camp Directorate. It's the strategy papers, use of prison populations, requests for more labour, information on life expectancy, causes of death, food consumption rates, and so on. I took what I could get, but it shows you what's going on. It's obviously all in Russian, so you'll need to translate it. This is what you needed, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Are you sure it won't be missed? It won't lead back to you.
He kind of pauses and thinks, no, it'll all be fine. If you want to make a psychology roll on that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Extreme success.
Set up.
Wow.
Yeah, extreme success for me too.
Whilst he's saying he doesn't think it's a problem, he clearly that's a lie. He knows. He seems he knows full well he's implicating himself in potential trouble here by giving you these papers. They will be missed.
We
can
get you out of here and reunited with your wife.
You mean Nadezhda?
Yes.
Yes. That was Nadezhda, not Anna.
You've not been able to contact her since we last spoke, have you?
We haven't tried, but everything, trust us, everything now should mean she should be able to join you.
Right.
Getting her out of the country won't be difficult compared to getting you out, and we can get you out.
We don't want to leave. There's still work to be done. This all may be wrong, but I'm trying to make things better. This is why I'm giving you the papers. I'll write to Nadezhda again. If you think she will be able to join me now, then that is what we both want.
She should be able to, yes, but you have to realise how dangerous this is going to be for you if they find out that you've taken these.
Well, I understand that, but as I say, I don't think it's not going to be a problem. Don't worry. He's covering. He's like, whilst he's lying, he's not. He isn't you know he's lying. He's saying, no, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing, you know. He said, do you have is that a camera you've got with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to take some pictures? So it's a bit of a risk, but there's limited time, but I can tell you where to go.
Yes, that would be really helpful.
That would be good. Yes.
There's a hill. It's not far. You go through town, and he gives you some directions. Basically, there's a hill. If you get to the top of the hill, you're able to look over the Labour camp, and if you're quick and not spotted, you should be able to get pictures of the whole camp and see the workers. You know, as I say, they're only, you know, be careful. How you go about it. It's a good perspective, but take this, and he pulls out a pack of Sappho cigarettes, and he kind of hands them over with a box of matches. He says, look, smoke these. If offer one if anyone stops or presses you. Just use these to get out of trouble. And he kind of passes on, and he looks around, and there's a couple of the workers are kind of looking this way, and so I have to leave. If you speak to her, if you do speak to, tell her that I will try and get to her, and tell her I'll do everything I can, and good luck yourselves. And with that, he kind of turns around and leaves basically.
Okay, well, we did our best to get him out. He does not want to come. Let's hope he talks to Nadezhda. We better get a shifty on and try and photograph.
Is there a train station in this town, or do we have to go back to Mez thingy?
You have to get back to Medvedzi. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on this hill then.
Yeah.
And we ought to distribute these documents amongst us and put them somewhere secure. Let's get outside the church where no one can see us, and if we each take a quarter of them and sort of put them into
vest. Yes,
just
get them in your
case.
vest. Extra insulation.
But yes.
Are you all going up this hill?
I'm not climbing any hills if I don't have to.
I am quite happy to go up on my own to keep all of you lot safe.
I would suggest that just one person goes up. I can take a picture, but I would accept you're probably better than I am.
Well, two people so they can say they're having a chat and a smoke.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But no more than that, definitely.
All right, well, you're the photographer, Francis.
Oh yeah, I'm going up there, no problem.
Okay.
But
it is only about
count vehicles. See if they have any.
Are you going to steal a car again?
It occurred to me
there are vehicles in the town. Not in terms of there are party workers with vehicles. Obviously, the townsfolk don't really have any vehicles.
Because pinching a car won't be a true.
It wouldn't be ideal because then, of course, they would wait at the train station. But it would be good to know if we are going to be chased and what by and by how many, or
Oh yeah, that's a fair point. Yes.
All right. Who else is going up the hill? Is it just Francis then, or Maxime? Are you going?
I suppose I could help out with the
right.
With the camera.
In that case, have a cigarette.
Absolutely, not a moment too soon, Francis.
So I think the two of us will be walking up the hill, smoking, chatting,
Okay.
obviously sort of
Chatting in
like
Russian.
dissembling.
Obviously, it's
Um,
the early 1930s, so smoking is very good for you in this age.
Mm.
It is, yes. It's very good for the throat.
airways and so on.
Yeah.
So you two are fagging with your cigarettes up this hill. It is only like a 500-yard walk through, past the town to this hill. It's not too far. As you kind of come to the towards the top of the hill, you can see that it gives you a great kind of vista of the of both the town and basically this labour camp on the far side of the town that you obviously couldn't see from within. There's a fair amount of activity going on. Leather jacketed supervisors in conversation and various workers. There's a bridge, you do feel a bit exposed at this summit, but presumably you act reasonably quickly.
I'm also going to make sure
see
that Maxime's positioned so that he's kind of he's blocking, so that I can surreptitiously get the camera and sort of like shoot round him.
Yeah. You can see that the canal, starts here, and kind of, and you can see in the distance there's these lakes that the canal is kind of linking through. Obviously there's, numerous kind of workers along the stretch. There's probably, 300 or more various kind of structures of from small sheds to all sorts of, barns and things, and all kind of haphazard all around the site. It's it's a massive project. Can I have a disguise roll from you both?
Oh.
Well, that's the roll.
Oh, actually, that's better.
Let's hope Francis carries the day.
Francis does not carry the day and narrowly avoids fumbling.
I mean, my roll was still decent, but I've got the base skill disguise, and that's it.
Okay.
I've got nearly 30% in it, and I still it was a 94 roll.
Okay. Well, I now have an art craft photography roll, Francis, if you're taking this photos.
Good dice. Be good. You may have an art craft photography roll.
It's a regular success, yeah.
Regular success.
Okay. You think you've got some?
Maybe we got some good pictures. No.
I'm guessing I've probably just photographed Maxime's arm or something. At least I photographed up his nose.
The first selfie.
Tradition. It's a bit more difficult to photograph up somebody's nose with one of those cameras by accident.
Yeah, I mean they're fairly substantial. Have you got a box brownie or something like that?
Well, I've got the latest in small traveling cameras, which I don't think. Okay. It's not gigantically huge, but even then, I don't think the ones at that point in time are particularly tiny.
Compact
but
and
it's not going to be sort of like your full tripod thing. There is one that I know is about at this point in time, which is called a Thornton Pickard Royal Ruby Field camera, which is a beautiful thing, which is what the news journalists used to use. So it's very nice. Oh, he's back again.
Fancy.
We'll need to quickly sort of video order out.
We will, won't we? So
we'll take a
let's
short
have
break.
A quick break.
Okay. So, are you happy with your photos, or do you want to spend a bit longer?
I'm not risking. No, because you're going to make me push the roll. And just no. Let's go. We've got what we've got. If I've got a picture of Maxime's elbow, that's fine.
While you're, in this moment as you're just contemplating, can I get you both to make a spot hidden roll?
Good day. Good. These are good
days. Yes, you can.
Oh, yes, you can. That may actually be an extreme success.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. I've got a hard.
Okay. Something catches your eye. Something catches your eye in the the work site. You see what you first think is a small sack of wood or stones, a few hundred feet away, and you now realise that's human bodies.
Oh God.
Oh. Maxime's kind of a little taken aback by that, obviously, but then he immediately thinks, photo. We need a photo of that.
Oh
Can you
God.
take
We
another
need a
one?
photo of that. Yeah, just risk it. Try and get another one, and then we've got to get the hell out of here. Like
Yes,
making
yes.
a show of grinding cigarettes under our boots and things and walking off, but we need. Yeah.
But if anything,
Okay,
this
give
is
me another,
way more valuable than the papers.
another photo roll, please.
Come on, little dice. Be good. No.
Okay.
No,
You've taken
definitely taken a photograph of Maxime's foot this time.
You've taken a photograph, but something the camera kind of something happened when you moved the plate and it didn't kind of fit properly. So you think you probably wasted the plate. So you could take it out and put another one in and give it a go. Another kind of another film roll, as it were.
Go on.
This
Yeah,
is
one more.
extra, Francis, come on.
One more, and then we've got to go. We do not have time to keep. Are you making me push this roll, or is this just a normal one?
You just make the roll and I'll see what happens.
Oh God.
God. Come on, dice. Be good. Be good. Yes. That's a normal success.
Greg,
I will
okay,
try to
great.
make it a hard success if you need me to.
It's entirely up to you. I will tell you that the better the success, the better clarity the photo will be.
I am going to spend that 5 points of luck to make that a hard success, and I will probably not live to regret that.
Okay, that's
now let's
fine.
go.
Yes.
Okay, you see at this point, because you spent a little longer up there, you see some what you presume are overseers or managers of some kind, not far away from you, pointing towards you two. You obviously stamp out
about the cigarette.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm tempted to wave. Like we just be,
Hello.
Nothing. Hello. Let's not do that. Let's just stub out our cigarettes, pretend we haven't seen them, and just saunter off nonchalantly like there's nothing wrong in the world.
Okay. As you walk away from the hill, towards where you left the others, you hear in Russian, "Stoi! Kako I vasto noa," which obviously means stop. What is your number?
Just keep going.
Keeping walking. Okay, you hear the stop shouted slightly louder.
Oh, yeah, in that case, let's stop and let's turn round, do the we're tourists ridiculous nonsense, but offer them a fag while we're at it.
You see a Red Army soldier, just a single chap, kind of walking towards you. He has got a rifle over his shoulder. He's not, he's not unslung his rifle in his hands. It's over his shoulder, but he is walking up to you, and he in Russian he says, "Your papers."
Well, there's no point in avoiding this. So hand him the papers with one hand and offer him a cigarette with the other hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. He accepts both. Looks at the paper very curtly, lights the cigarette, hands you the papers back, and says, "Go on."
Thank him. Doing really bad Russian to make it try and sort of like sell the whole thing that we kind of didn't quite understand what it was doing the first time, and then just get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you meet back up with the rest of your colleagues. What's the plan now? Do you want to get a bit closer to the camp? Get inside? Get some?
No.
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 Yeah, I thought we make an appointment with the head honcho,
We
Yeah.
killed
You
him.
get a tour, you know.
I hacked his head off.
Thank you, Mike. But a guided tour of the camp in one of the lovely uniforms is not really on our agenda.
It's funny if that was part of the itinerary for our tour of Russia.
Yeah.
Considering we're not actually supposed to be in this bit of Russia having a tour.
Yeah.
Nope.
We have papers, we have photographs. Let's count our blessings and get going quick.
Okay.
Let's get to the nearest place that's got a train station and let's get on that train to, checks notes, Zavanka.
Okay. Zavanka. Okay, so you head out back towards Medvedyegoya. The first part of the journey is along the road, and then you will kind of come off the road and back into the trees, cutting across country. However, while you're in the middle of the road, and it's one of those, wide roads where there's, when you hear the truck coming towards you, well, from behind, there's no way you're going to get out. They clearly have seen you before you even heard the truck. You're stood in the middle of the road or to the side. This big kind of truck is coming by.
Let's just keep walking like we should be here, like it's not a problem.
You've still got some cigarettes left, right?
We do still have some cigarettes left. Let's just walk casual.
You pull aside to let the truck go by you. As it goes by you, it comes to a stop. What do you do?
What can we do? I mean,
just
we can get around it.
Just sort of look and see why they've stopped. Yeah.
You see the driver, depending on which side you're, either driver or the co-driver, leans out of the cab window. It's a red army truck. Now that you see the sides of it, and they're in the uniforms, and he shouts across in Russian, obviously. Are you going to Medvedyegoya?
We are, yes.
We are, comrade.
He waves you on the back of
comrade.
He waves you on the back of the truck.
Amazing. Give them a cigarette, quick.
Yes, definitely. Definitely give them a cigarette each. No. We need to hang on to some of those.
They're quite pleased.
It depends how long they are.
Cigarettes. The back of the truck is filled with what I really want to say is like Krylov and his croonies, but no, it's full of timber and tools and things like that. But wouldn't it be cool if it was Krylov? So you're on the back of the truck,
that, and I'll stick it in the book when we do the editing.
And you get a free lift back, saving a 5-hour cross-country trek into a 1-hour drive, which clearly is pretty good for you guys.
I did it in 45 minutes.
Yeah, you were slightly more put the foot down and a slightly better car. Yeah, you were a bit more fortunate. So yes, you arrived back in town in very good time, perhaps even enough in time to catch the train if you wanted to go straight away to Zavanka.
Yes. Let's go.
Before we do, however, I think Maxime would ask at the ticket booth if they have a telegram service.
Yeah. They can. Yes, I can say they have. Yeah.
Okay. So he does say to the others as well, but he suggests that we should send a telegram to Nadezhda.
Yes.
Just letting her know what's happened and to warn her that if she wants to see him, she needs to get up in pronto. Yes.
Maybe not be quite that obvious. Just say, all good.
Yes.
John, desperate to see you. Come now. That would.
Do you kind of sign it from yourselves or one of your names, or is it kind of anonymous? Or
the 4.
Your 4 friends.
Yeah.
Your 4 friends. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Your 4 friends.
Okay. That sounds great. Luckily, just checking the train times for you. Okay, so you've missed the 11 o'clock morning train. However, the next train is at 9 o'clock tonight. So which you got a few hours wait, but it's not. You could get away tonight if you wish.
Definitely, we definitely need to get away tonight.
And you can always, it's up to you whether you want to, you have now got time to go back to the colony and pick up your luggage, or pop back and, you'd probably be arriving before Anna back at her house again. But you have those options, or you can just hang out at the train station. It's entirely up to you.
Maybe we should go get our stuff, and then I
I
can
think
put
we
the
should
camera
get
in
our
the
stuff.
suitcase and not be obviously hanging around with the camera.
Because you can, in theory, get Oleg to maybe slay you in, slay you back in. So
oh, yeah. Go on, let's do that then.
Okay. Well, as you, and that is exactly what happens. And we're going to kind of jump ahead a little bit over the travel log. And, Oleg is there. He's happy to see you, wants to know how it all went in the end. Did you get what you needed and all that kind of thing? But, drops you back to the train station in, well in good time with all your possessions as you may want. And on that wonderful kind of, journey back, you've had a
This is going too well.
Trip with the soldiers, trip back with Oleg, had a bit of time to kind of calm down and de-stress from rushing around and trying to not get caught and shot for spying and all that kind of thing. So having managed to get the Bellamore Canal papers, there's a sense of somewhat of accomplishment of not being shot and all the rest of it. So you all get 1d4 sanity points back.
Amazing.
Well, let's see how good this is, because usually it just rolls a 1. Come on,
It's just the one.
It did.
4.
And
I got a 1.
Francis and Maxime for putting your necks out on that hill and getting, feeling pretty certain you got the photograph you needed. You both get an extra 2 points of sanity.
Ooh.
Oh,
Get
I've got
in.
40. Oh, it's been so long.
Okay. Eventually the train pulls into Savanka. You board and are finally headed home.
Can I set up these papers we've got? I'm going to put mine in the luggage.
Yeah, sure. Just so you know, I mean, obviously, what's your written Russian like? Your reading of Russian, is that not bad, isn't it?
It's never been documented.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's read write, so
it's I mean, you've got to. I think you've got to pick up a bit, but obviously you can't translate these papers fully.
58%. We're fluent.
Yeah, oh well,
but spoken isn't the same as written, is it? Let's face it.
I'm just giving in basically you learnt a lot of Russian on offhand on the way. So I'm not going to say you can translate these papers completely, but you can read them enough to get a gist of what they're saying to you. And I was just going to give you a quick couple of samples of kind of things, but basically there's a letter from some Iagoda that talks to about the great success of the program of arrests of the last of the kulaks, the priests, the small traders, the bourgeois, specialists and engineers and other counter-revolutionaries have led to a growing prison population and how they can use that population as a workforce on the canal. So there's a direct link there. There's also a list of correctional labor camp colonization, and basically it's an admissions list with a list of names, their place of birth and their occupations, and all basically people that have been arrested and moved to the camp as a workforce. So you have jewelers and teachers and railway workers, accountants, all as being used as slave labor. So you've got a very good set of it seems to you bulletproof kind of evidence really in terms of what you're asked to get. So you feel pretty confident and happy about that. You got what you needed. Hopefully turn that situation around if it can be. So on the train to Savanka, there's a couple of times, you run into a few AGPU people and soldiers, but your lucky pack of cigarettes and your wit and charm will get you out of most sticky situations.
Are we traveling with somebody else now?
It's I'm glossing over this slightly, but the reason I'm able to gloss over it is because you got hold of the notebook from Krylov. If you hadn't have got that notebook, you would not now be having such an easy time on the train, because there would be people looking for you by name, but your names aren't known to anyone, so you are getting away scot-free.
Thank you,
certainly at this
Eleanor.
moment.
Thank you, Eleanor.
And eventually you arrive in Zavanka. And obviously what you do when you get off a train, you've just arrived in a new place, what's the first thing you're going to do? You need to go and get a cup of tea. So that's what we're going to do now, and have a quick break for 10 minutes or so, get a cup of tea, and we will see you for the second half as we draw The Dead Within to a close. And we're back. Hello. Okay, so you have arrived in Zavanka. You then, following Mr. Weston's, escape plan that he gave you, you take a steamer ship to Novaya Lagoda, and then on to the Klimentov Skata Church, where you are meant to ask for a person called Ian Becker.
We are indeed.
And this is where you now find yourself, knocking on the door.
I even have it in brown ink. Look.
Well, there you are.
Yes.
Sorted. This chap, he sticks his head out the door. He looks like early middle-aged, prematurely kind of greying hair. Opens the door, sticks his head out. What do you say?
Vera needs a final delivery.
He says in reply, "Tell me nothing. You don't have to. Don't tell me nothing. You don't have to. No names, nothing. It's best that way." And his English is pretty reasonable. And he pulls you inside. He, as you pass by, he smells of strong tobacco and tar. And inside it's actually this house next to the church, in fact, and it's very simply furnished. Large kitchen table where a woman and a young man sit, who he introduces as his wife Irina and his son David. But he takes you straight through to a sitting room, and he potters around, comes back with some coffee and bread and cured meat and cheese and pickles, and he takes off his glasses and he says, "Just a few questions I have to ask. May I?"
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Are all of you going across?
Yes.
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 Oh,
And
Sophia.
don't forget Sophia.
We did remember to pick Sophia up, didn't we?
We did
Yes.
before
We
the
did
session
remember to
started.
pick Sophia up.
Thanks.
No, you did tell me, and I forgot it in my little recap. But yes, you picked up Sophia in Savanka, where she'd been holed up in the hotel, like you told her to do. She's been
Good
fine.
girl.
So she's with
Good.
you, and you are all of them.
Mhm.
Yes.
And will the Finns let you in?
One would hope so.
Yes.
I
We've not got anything
can't see
against
why they
them.
wouldn't.
Are you ready to go now?
Yes.
Yes.
He says, regarding Sophia, he says, you must, she's family, yes?
Maxime,
I am
yes.
Maxime Line.
Friend of the family, yes.
You must say she's family at the
Well,
border.
then she is family. She's as good as.
No, she
Yes.
is. She is.
She is family, Maxime.
Yes, all right. She is family.
You rest now, and we will leave soon. A long sail, and he says 8 o'clock tonight. So you've got about 4 hours or so before you actually depart. So this is your, I guess, last chance to do or get anything before you leave, if you wish to.
Is there anything I particularly want? I mean, it's not going to really be the town to go and get souvenirs in, is it?
No, just checking. Basically, he's got a map. You picked up your stuff, so you've got a map too, and you can kind of see what you're going to be doing. There's basically Lake Lagoda of where you're on. It's basically a big old lake, and it's basically split in half. The border between Finland and Russia goes through the middle of the lake, basically. But you've got to obviously cross, from one side to the other. It's about 100 kilometers or so, and it's probably going to take a good 24 hours to get across. So 8 o'clock comes, and yourselves and Sophia gather your belongings together, and you leave with Becca, and you walk through the quiet streets. Everything is silent. It's a very cold night. The moon and the stars are lighting the way. And as you reach the river, there's a bit of a mist starting to form, but it's otherwise deserted. Becca's craft is, you translate the name of it as the cuckoo, and it's very similar to that of Oleg's boat. It's a kind of a Dutch barge, and easily big enough to cope with the number of you coming on board. It's in slightly better condition than Oleg's boat, actually, but certainly looks good enough. And as you take your seats, it starts to run the sails up, which you notice are dark grey, almost black sails. And if anyone is offering to lend a hand rigging the sails or anything else like that, or are you just sitting back and doing your... Okay.
Yeah, that didn't go well last time, so...
Yeah, I think my sailing skills are not massive, but I'll offer to help, hoping that
NPCs don't fail rolls. I do.
Do either of you have any pilot sailboat or boat skill?
Yes.
I can't remember if you did. Yeah. Do you want to
Yes,
make a roll on that? And then Georgina, if you can give me a dex roll.
Oh yes, I'm fairly dexterous. So.
I am 2 off a fumble, so
it's an extreme success on the dex.
Oh right, okay. So I'm going to say that Georgina's extreme covers for Maxime being a bit fingers and thumbs at this moment. So you kind of get away without us shouting and you kind of both give a hand and get the sails up, and you set off towards the mouth of the river into the lake proper, leaving the towns. Yes, you head into the lake. So obviously, Maxime, is probably why you're a bit fingers and thumbs, because the thought is now suddenly realised you're about to go into a lake, and you're not best equipped for that at the moment. You start to get hot and cold shivers as you start to go out onto the water, basically. Obviously, it's, you're not currently insane technically, so you can hold it together, but obviously if something untoward happens, you may be at a penalty or some sort of disadvantage. Just to remind you, but otherwise it's all okay. There's this kind of voice in Georgina's head, thoughts of the water and things living under the water start to kind of bubble around in your head. Again, it's not causing you too much stress at the moment, but it's kind of starting to play on your mind, and it grows. You've only got 24 hours on the lake, so I'm sure it can't get any worse. As you kind of head into the main lake, Becca turns off any navigation lights on the boat, so it's very dark. You can see, well, he's got some binoculars just after he does this, and then you can see, some of the starlight and moon casting on the water. You can see things around. It's not totally pitch black. He's got some binoculars, and he's studying around the lake, and he passes them over to whoever's nearby and points out, and he's saying, see the little boat, the small one, you see the gun, and you can see, I don't know, maybe half a kilometer away, something like that, around, there's a boat you'd say is about 20 or 30 feet in length, that seems to have an armored machine gun turret on it. And he says, patrol boat. They have three on the lake. They should all be here. There is only one. We must look out for the other two. Okay. And the wind picks up a bit, freshening a bit, and the boat kind of carries on forward. Strain of creak of the canvas and rope and the slap of the water against the hull, and a fog kind of descends, kind of caused by the freezing air over the warmer water, starts to arise around you and the lake, thickening as you go. Georgina, these thoughts, this is after a few hours now, these thoughts are really kind of playing. Everyone's been pretty quiet. I guess you're not all sitting really kind of chatting away, but if anyone notices, Georgina is particularly quiet and seems quite self-involved at this point in time. And you've started to picture Huber underneath this lake, and you were kind of a bit worried about Francis yesterday with that whole incident, that when he kind of ran off and acted kind of strangely in the woods. I don't know if Francis has kind of revealed that you saw Uncle Harry. I'm kind of guessing you didn't, but maybe you did.
No, I haven't really said anything. But if I've noticed she's looking a bit ikey, I will sort of shuffle over to her, grab her hand, give it a squeeze, and offer her the hip flask.
Okay. So if Georgina, can you give me a sanity roll, please? And this will determine
I can.
Whether you keep things in check.
Oh dear, no.
Okay.
Oh, it's all got a bit much for poor Georgina. She's been holding it together. She's done really, really well, but
maybe it's Francis, and the catalyst is breaks the spell, breaks the silence, and offering you a hip flask, and it just kind of bubbles out, and you start kind of going, I've got to get off the lake, and you start raising your voice loudly, and you kind of caught between this kind of, the boat's going too slowly. Maybe it's better to just jump in and swim, because you can see over there the water is bubbling like it did on the lake when Huber rode, and you saw it rise up to pride off. It's just the same, and you're seeing all of this and panicking, and obviously Becca is concerned that you're making quite a lot of noise, and obviously says that to everyone else. Can you do something? He says as he's stuck steering the boat.
Georgina, look at me. It's all right. It's fine.
No, it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. I know it's coming. We're not going fast enough. We've got to get out of here, Francis. It's gonna get us.
He's not going to get us. We've dealt with him. He's trapped where he is. We're fine. We're okay.
No,
if you keep making a noise like this, it's not going to be him that gets us. It's going to be the gunboats. If we make too much noise, the gunboat's going to find us. We have to be quiet. We're okay. There is nothing under the water.
It might be better to be got by the gunboats than by Huber.
Georgina, tell me
He's
about
just
your
like
sketches.
completely hysterical, crying and just not really making much sense.
Can we just gag her and tie her?
Yeah,
Could.
I mean, well, before you get to that point, Eleanor, I'm going to allow Francis and Maxime to make a psychology roll, but I'm going to need a hard success to calm Georgina down. If you fail, then over to you, Eleanor. Whatever you want to do, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost
Totally
certainly
gaming
gonna
the
fail
system.
anyway.
How's your psychology?
It's always been a base, so yeah, I failed.
Come on, dice. Come on, dice. Come on, dice. I haven't got enough luck to spend that to make it a hard. Damn
Sounds
it.
like you need to push the
It's a
roll.
normal success.
It's not having an effect. I mean, and you hear Eleanor talking about hit her or tie her up or something. Do you want to push the roll, Lynne?
Tell me what you want me to do, guys, and I'll do it.
Well, have we got anything that can stop her apart from?
I have to get off. I have to get off. He's going to be here any second.
Sod it, push the roll.
Okay.
This is all going to go horribly, horribly wrong, guys. I tried to sort of like pour some booze down her, and I'm sort of like getting to the point where I will slap her.
You're one of Hoover's. You're one of Hoover's Zelosny.
Yeah,
you're seeing Zelosny
I'm
around
Oh,
the
God.
house.
away from Francis.
These are all turning. These are all turning into Zelosny around you, Georgina.
No,
What did you do, Lynne?
thankfully, it's not a fumble because I've got more than 50%, but that was a fail. And there is no way I have the luck to make that right.
Things get pretty bad, Georgina. You're surrounded by Zelosny on the boat. Hoover is rising out of the lake behind you. I'm now going to give you one last sanity roll, which is basically a reality check to see whether you can bring to your senses and see through this hallucination, this delusion, or whether you fully embrace it.
Oh, right, that's 28, so I'm okay. Yes.
Okay, just
Close.
as you are about to throw yourself in the water and start swimming the 70 kilometers to the shore, which would have been the last of you, you kind of put your toe, literally kind of put one foot in the water as you're straddling the boat's edge, and the freezing cold water kind of just snaps you into your senses, and you look around and you realize that there aren't Zelosny on the boat. The water's calm. It's just fog, shapes in the fog, and you kind of collapse in a heap in the boat, kind of just crying and
cry
and a
You
bit
can
of a
cry,
state.
just be quiet.
Eleanor and Billum.
Cry quietly.
Yes.
Eleanor and Becca look at each other at this point with a kind of, well, that was lucky, because the next step would have been to sort this out. But after that little eventful happening, you carry on. A few hours go by, dead of night. Banks of fog, occasionally clear. There's kind of like, it's kind of these patches of fog you go through, and then it's clear for a bit, and then you enter another one. And at one point, the wind kind of dies down a bit, and Becca says, we need to row, basically. And he kind of hands out these oars to you, a pair each side, and starts trying to get you to row, which for Georgina is probably a good thing because it gives you something other than to focus on. Although every now and again, sort of Maxime looks at the oar going in the water, and in your head you're thinking about some claw grabbing the end of the oar and pulling you in with it, but you kind of keep just keep pushing. Don't worry about that. Can I get a dex roll? A dex roll from all of you, please, just to see how fast you get this boat going.
Be good, dice. Be good.
I will spend 2 luck to pass that roll.
No.
Okay.
What's the critical fumble?
Yep, it's good. It's good. I'm very fortunate that my dex is high.
My
Eleanor,
dex is
did-
rubbish, which is why I never make them.
Eleanor, did you just drop the ore in the water?
I was just asking what the threshold for the critical fumble is on a stat
It depends on your skill. What's your level of
30.
skill at the minute? 30, so it would be a 95 to 100.
96.
96 to 100, yeah.
Oh,
Something like that.
I hope that ore wasn't expensive.
You kind of start going and it just sort of slips out your hand. It's like, ah! It's just gone. And you kind of,
Not my talent.
what can I do? You know? Who's rowing on the same side as Eleanor?
Oh, good question.
We
Well,
haven't
that
really
might be why I
established
can't.
that.
I'm not having very much luck because she just hit my ore
Keeps
with her
smashing
ore
it.
when she dropped it.
So Francis is going to kind of have to kind of, you know, do the work of two really to just keep it going. But, you know, it'll all be fine. You've only got a few more hours of rowing to go, so I'm sure you won't be tired out or anything by the end of it.
I failed. I didn't actually manage to do any rowing.
Yeah,
She-
oh no,
she
I know.
hit-
That's
she
why.
hit me,
That's
and
why.
yeah.
You go in a big
No.
curve.
You are, yeah, you curve for a while and then rectify, and you know, basically at some point probably Becca moves Maxime to the opposite side to where Georgina is, because you both seem to be able to keep a pace and
Competent.
yeah, so on, and you carry on going through this patchy fog. Can again a few more hours pass, and can I get a listen roll from anyone who would like to make?
Doubtful.
Not quite.
Oh, you
Oh.
little darlings. That is
Extreme.
a hard success.
No, I'm
Extreme.
sobbing in a corner still over my oar. I'm not listening.
Okay.
I'm not listening in case the monsters come back.
Okay, Francis, you hear the sound of metal on metal, kind of like a repetitive kind of hammering sound. Eleanor, obviously you hear that, but you realise what it is, and it definitely is someone hammering metal. Eleanor, you know that the sound is dead ahead of you, and what do you do?
Tack right. Port, whatever, whichever one that is, starboard or something. Just turn.
Starboard.
Okay. So you kind of get the message along to Becca, and he kind of steers around a bit, as you know, you start to turn, slightly veering away from the direction you were going. Suddenly, the fog lifts, and there's a patrol boat right ahead of you, about 150, 200 yards distant, and you can see on the deck are a bunch of guys, and one of them seems to be hammering something on the boat. The boat it looks like something to do with the engine or propeller or something or whatever is going on. It looks like they're trying to get the boat started from where you can see.
Take it that there's no way they're not going to see us now, right?
It's it's pretty.
Yeah.
You've got a split second to decide what you do. You do see the machine gun on the boat as well, obviously.
Yeah. I'll shout across. I'll say, "Do you need help?" in Russian.
Okay. Okay. Becca sort of looks at you, and he looks a bit worried, and he says, keep rowing, and that you hear a shout back from the boat, and they kind of wave and you see some sort of heads shaking, but you do notice one of them heading towards the machine gun. What do you do now?
Row like buggery, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But whilst they're rowing,
Very quietly.
I'm not, because I lost the row. So I'm
Mm.
the oar even. So I'm gonna go to our staff, and because do we still have rifles?
Oh God.
Yeah, I think we took everything with us.
Well, I gave my
Yeah.
rifle back to
Oh, did
Oleg.
you? Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't
So
take
you haven't
Oleg's
got.
rifle. He might need it for wolves in the winter.
Good point.
So you haven't got a
Only
rifle.
took mine.
However, as you know, Becker is sort of saying row row. At this point, he kind of whispers kind of over that that roll there. He kind of points to something in the and
I'm just going to drag it out into the. So I'm keeping it below the visual line of the boat, but I'm going to drag it out in between everyone rowing so that it's there and just start unfolding it.
Basically, there's a couple of rifles in there. He sort of he's kind of saying keep only if we have to, basically. But obviously the other lot of you are rowing like the heck to just keep get out from this other patrol boat as quickly as you can. So can I have another dex roll from the rowers, please?
Come on, little dices. Be good.
No, you can't, I'm afraid.
No.
Yes. In fact, that is an extreme success.
Okay, extreme success, and it was a no from everyone else, or
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
no.
sadly.
no? Okay, so okay, fine. Okay, okay. You're moving the boat along, not quite as quickly as perhaps you could. This guy has gone up to the machine gun and is moving it around in your direction. Clearly, they're not happy about something, he's basically manning the gun, pointing it towards you. What are you doing now?
You need fuel, oil, water, diesel. Kill him with kindness,
Becca curses and sort of says, the nets, throw the nets over.
Oh,
okay.
And there's far in the kind of the stern's the back, isn't it?
Yes.
Can't think of what the name of the what's the bow. In the bow, there's some, not a huge net, but there is some fishing nets basically.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll do what he tells me to. He's obviously got something planned.
You start throwing these nets over, and okay, so who's got the lowest luck on the boat then?
14.
I imagine
22.
me. I have 6.
Okay, so this is a ruse. You basically you've shouted a bit of help out. Do you need a bit of help? You're throwing these nets over to kind of you're a fishing boat kind of thing. However, there's a patrol boat out, looking for somebody, trying to get out of Russia, basically, who maybe looks like you guys. And we need to see what your group look is to see whether they buy the fishing ruse. So it's down to Maxime, I'm afraid. Unless Maxime, you want to let somebody else make the roll against your score. It's entirely, you as a group to decide who makes the roll.
I mean, I'm happy to take it for the team.
Just do the
I'm
roll.
going to just do it.
Yeah.
This is where it all goes horribly wrong. So
It's
near and yet
6%
so far.
regardless. So.
Well, I did get a 6. It was just the wrong units.
Oh.
So yeah.
So that was a 0.6, right?
I wish.
There's a burst of fire from the machine gun. What do you do?
Keep rowing.
That's very
Yeah, just
uncivil.
rowing.
Well, I'll grab the rifle.
I'm just going to suggest would anyone like to kind of throw their heads down and get low in the boat when you hear the machine
Yes,
gun
that
firing,
too.
or are you?
Yes. Yes.
Is that what you? Is that what?
Yeah, I mean,
is
that's
that
a
what
sort
you
of
said to me?
instinctive duck. That's
Yeah.
an
I'm just
instinctive duck.
checking, because I got the sense for a moment that you were all standing up with rifles like this in the boat.
No,
you're not
the
doing that, are you?
rifles
Duck and row.
are
Duck and
down on
row.
the deck
Duck and row.
anyway.
Yeah, so you go to reach the rifles and dive for cover at the same time, I think is what I heard you say. Okay.
You've got us this far safe. Don't kill us now, Mike.
Okay, so it's distance, it's dark, it's foggy. You are low and have cover. I have to actually make an extreme success on my hit roll to actually get any of you. So I'm going to make that
I'm
roll
pleased to
now.
hear that.
Oh, I rolled 2 10s dice. I'm going to have to roll another one. I have to roll them again, I'm afraid, because I can't, which one do I pick? I rolled a normal success, so I didn't. So machine gun fire goes over your heads, hits a bit of the paneling of the boat. A close shave as a bullet whizzes by somebody's head, but you are unscathed. Now, the fact that you have made at least one extreme success with the dex roll, that you've been rowing and moving on, means the boat is moving along, although you've stopped rowing for a second or two. The machine gun fires, and you suddenly enter another patch of fog. You're hidden, and Oleg just says, "Row, row," or Becky even, "Row, row, row." Can I have another set of dex rolls? Eleanor, you can use your hands or the rifle butt or whatever you want.
I'll use the butt of the rifle.
Oh, yes, it's a pass.
Still no.
Do you want to change that into
good pass?
Is any luck on that? Good. Good
I
passes.
still don't trust you about us needing luck, so I'm hanging on to some luck.
So
that would still be a bit too much luck.
It's a weed problem. We now only have one rifle.
That's brilliant. Oh, it's another one gone. Oh no!
I think it was an ore by mistake.
Okay, everyone but Eleanor. Can I have a con roll, please? Genius.
Got the same roll.
Oh gosh, my con's rather good.
Yes, you can.
You can have an extreme con roll.
And Maxime
An
made the
extreme con roll, actually.
Yep. Okay. And Georgina, how did you do?
I got a good success.
Oh, okay. So that's three. You keep on going. It's basically you keep on going. You make a good effort with this rowing to kind of realize actually your life might actually be in danger, and you really give it hell. Eleanor is just kind of caught between laughing and crying, I think, at the situation. Looking over, no one's got any time for you. They just go, row, 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 kind of thing as you carry on through. And you get clear, basically. The long and the short of it is you get clear, and the sun starts to rise eventually as you arrive in Finland.
Oh.
At times it's felt like the lake was the sea, just this endless kind of thing. And just as dawn's rising, and just before you kind of the last kind of half an hour or so, Becca produces this dried reindeer meat, these nuts and cheese and dried fruit, and a bit of brandy and vodka, and says, I think you've earned this now.
Why didn't you get that out before?
That's a bit weird.
So, sorry about the oar and the rifle.
He kind of just looks at you and all right. The only other kind of troubling thing you notice, but hopefully it's too late. You do spot this tiny speck in the sky a little while back, and then now you kind of realize it's a biplane, a small biplane, but it's watching it kind of come and go over the last hour or two. you realise it's kind of doing a search of the lake, but it's probably too late. It's far away from you in terms of where you are. So by the time it got anywhere near you, hopefully, you're already ashore and gone. But clearly, somebody was looking for you, or somebody in the patrol boat maybe said there's a bunch of strange folk doing something, being where they shouldn't be in the middle of the night. So whether it's that or something darker, you're not quite sure. But nevertheless, I think we're good, says Becca, as you finally arrive in Finland. Hands somewhat blistered, and you are intercepted by a patrol boat flying a blue and white Finnish flag. Becca speaks Finnish. I don't think any of you do.
No.
And you are taken in tow into the harbour of Metsäperiod, and you are conducted ashore. You have left Russia.
I mean, it was fun, but I can't say I'm sorry not to be on Russian soil now.
Does Finland have tea?
Oh,
I hope so.
Well, they'll have something,
Oh.
yes.
I could really do with a cup of tea. Wonderful idea, Eleanor.
I was going to make a joke about long drink, but that won't be invented for another 34, 35 years-ish.
Or
Maybe a
some
bit
blue
more.
vine would be good.
The Finnish authorities do look after you. There's an initial kind of a bit of uncertainty and who are you, what's going on, but you are given medical attention as needed, blankets, food and beds, including Sophia, of course. But the British Embassy soon kind of makes an appearance and smooths over any issues, and confirms who you are, etc. And they also cover Sophia's status, having Weston having done the paperwork back in Moscow for you, you are driven to the town of Viborg, presumably after saying goodbye and thanks to Becca,
Definitely.
who sticks around in Finland for a while till things quieten down, and you bump on a train, and you're then met by the British First Secretary N.H. Charles, and conducted to the embassy in the capital, where you are welcomed by the ambassador, Mr. R.A.C. Sperling, and at this point, are you sharing the papers and photographs you took?
Don't see why not. They're better off going back in a diplomatic career than us.
This is very true. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because they've got to go to the Foreign Office, haven't they?
Yes.
yeah. So so the ambassador takes personal responsibility for the papers and gets the films developed and so on. And having once him and his team have had a quick look at them, there's a few nods of like, well done kind of thing, without a lot of content, but they seem to be very pleased with what you brought them. After 2 days as the ambassador's guests at the embassy, you do have the opportunity, if you want to send telegrams back home now, if you do want to contact friends, family, or so forth, you have the opportunity to do that.
Definitely need to send a telegram.
Yeah.
To
I think
Ben,
probably my parents would like to know I'm
Yes.
still alive.
Okay.
It would be polite, wouldn't it?
Maxime, family.
Well, definitely the mother. He will write to Joan, but obviously there's some unfinished business there that he's still not sure how to resolve.
Yep. Okay. And Eleanor, are you writing to anyone?
Yes, I am. I'm going to send a telegram to my my parents in Alderba. and I'm going to impose on my my father that I've had my faith shaken, and I'm going to stop by for counsel.
Okay, very good. The first British Secretary, Mr. Charles, accompanies you on the 7-day journey by boat to England, where he does carry the papers in a diplomatic bag. And when you arrive at Tower Bridge on the 24th of November, those of you, who wrote to anyone and so forth, are also been advised of your return and are there to meet you at the docks. Obviously, Sophia's arrival is greeted with particular joy by Maxime's family, who are there as well. And where's my wonderful little note I've made? I can't find it. Okay, so after some interesting times in Russia, you are back with your families in London, but things don't quite end there. There's obviously a bit of to do with the service with Mr. Weston and Hill, who spend a day or two debriefing you, ensuring they get what they need from your experiences and what you can tell them. Obviously there's the obvious stuff you can tell them. Do you start to also talk about Huber and Krylov?
Dear heavens, no, absolutely no.
Not unless we fail our roles terribly.
Well, I was just going to say, I think Maxime is fine, but I think Francis, Georgina, and Eleanor, who are, potentially have the potential to maybe speak out of turn in this regard, should all make a sanity roll. Because if you fail the sanity roll now, you do inadvertently at least blurt out something about Krylov and
come on, dice,
whatnot.
Come on, dice. Don't let me admit to hacking somebody's head off.
I'm going to spend some luck. Can I spend some luck?
Roll.
Oh
no, not on this roll.
Yet.
Then I have failed by 2.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I failed by twice.
Okay. Eleanor, how did you do?
I'm good.
You made it, and
we were nowhere near Krylov. Never heard of the guy. Don't know why he signed up either.
Yes, and Maxime, you made a roll as well.
Gods in the lake.
No, you said I was fine, so I didn't need to.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's just you acted as though I heard you. That I thought you said you'd made the roll, so I thought you'd made the roll anyway.
No,
you
hadn't, that's somebody else.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to say you don't know what you said to Hello Weston. There was this, you just remember them looking at you very strangely for a while, and time kind of passed, and who knows what you actually said, but they, you're sure it wasn't good, but you can't quite recall. Maybe there was a mention of a head, something in the water.
No, not the head.
But they, you're not quite sure. That at the end, once this is all kind of done, they do come and thank you again, but Weston at some point probably comes over to Georgina and Francis individually at times to say something about he recommends a bit of convalescence time, maybe perhaps take some time in the country.
That would be lovely.
He knows a good doctor that might be worth contacting, and he puts you in touch with a psychologist he knows in the home counties that you can choose to follow up or not as you see fit.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Are they paying?
I think they're civil servants, so don't go that far. That's mad. That would be madness. But ultimately, both him and Hill tells you that they are in your debt and the country is in your debt. You hear something about the Prime Minister being very happy with the outcome. Okay, so I'm now going to summarize a little bit of what happens next, or what happened to certain people, just to kind of close things up.
Is this like the rolling credits?
This is the rolling credits. This is the photographs of, in 1964. So Nadezhda Palliser, Weston does meet up with her, but it is only shortly before he is then arrested for basically, sharing state secrets with foreign powers, and is sent to a gulag. He is sent to a gulag, in Kamchatka. However, he is repatriated to Berlin after the Second World War in his 50s, and you obviously managed to salvage his reputation in England, and so eventually it kind of works out okay. However, he has a bit of a tough time till then, unfortunately, Nadezhda is also, being married to Palliser, also sent to the gulag as well, but she is released in 1932. Anna, you never hear from again. Who can say what happens to her? But presumably, having removed the notebook out of Soviet hands, no one goes looking for her, and she gets to live out the rest of her life, peacefully, all being well.
So long as she can stay away from evil Mr. Gortman.
Yeah.
Oksana, in fact, in later in the 30s, does a tour of Europe with the ballet, and comes to London. Her and Anastasia dance in London, and there is a possibility that you may see this coming and find yourselves in London to watch the ballet, and even catch up with them afterwards.
Definitely.
To find that Oksana and Latkin didn't quite stick together in the end, but had a good time, and Oksana is still on the lookout for her perfect match.
I'm so surprised she didn't end up shot by the GPU.
She was fabulous. I loved Oksana.
As spirited as ever. Okay, no, sorry, I'll ignore that bit. Okay, so Felix Brearley gets in touch with Maxime at some point, having enjoyed the chess games and so forth and the companionship back at the early days on the boat headed to Russia and the early parts of the tour. Gets back in touch and just mention that the rest of the tourists on the tour were somewhat dismayed and worried when you all disappeared and just left. But glad to see that you are all back safely in the end. But he keeps in touch, and in fact invites you to join his club in London, Maxime, and you can join the club and play chess there as time passes, as you so wish. Grace Mallory somehow gets in touch with Georgina, somehow, perhaps even Georgina gets in touch with her, because Grace's fine illustrations appear in the Illustrated London News in December 1929 of her visits to Russia, and which may inspire Georgina to send in her own. I don't know, but certainly a friendship is potentially there to pick up as you go forward. Who can say what happened to Ruslan Popov and Ilya Latskin? Alexa can't tell you much more than she did, but Oksana, sorry, can't tell you much more than she did. But who's to say what happened to Popov? All they can say, all that Felix Braley says, is that when you disappeared, Popov was like blowing a fuse. He was like literally red in the face, and
oh, so deserved that.
Who knows what happened next?
And was all right. I liked him.
Yeah, well, he was fine. He went off with Oksana.
Yeah.
And although your role in this whole affair is never made public in England, on Monday, the 13th of July, 1930, 8 months after you returned from the Soviet Union, you each receive a letter, which I have a copy of, which goes something like this. From the office of the Prime Minister, Downing Street, in confidence, the Prime Minister has asked me to inform you in strict confidence that, having accepted the advice of the head of the Civil Service and the main Honours Committee, he proposes to submit your name to the King. He's recommending that His Majesty may graciously be pleased to approve that you be appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in the birthday 1930s honours list. Before doing so, the Prime Minister will be glad to know that this would be agreeable to you. I should therefore be grateful if you would inform my office on the matter as soon as possible. If you accept, your name will be included in the list published in the London Gazette and some national newspapers on the 5th of September 1930. All honours recipients are invited to an investiture. These are organised by the Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood in St James's Palace. They will issue invitations for attendance at the event immediately after the publication of the list, and so forth and so forth. F.A. Newsom, MC, Private Secretary to the Prime Minister.
And I'd never forgive me if I said no.
My parents are going to die of joy. I mean, it doesn't sit well with my bohemian, rep, but, there aren't many sculptors with MBE afterwards. So, yay.
So the list is published, and then some 3 months later, you arrive in St James's Palace on the 10th of October 1930 to meet with King George V. Pretty much exactly a year today after this episode all started, on the other side of St James's Park at the St Ermin Hotel. And you are taken to the palace, thanked personally by the king, and have your MBEs. And that leaves everything all neatly tied up, apart from Rudolf Gottman, who so enamored by your good work in Russia, at some point, we're not sure when, some point decides that retirement isn't everything, and that he should really get out there. And at some point, he may knock on the door to have a meal with an old friend. But we'll leave that to your imagination, see what happens there. But the good news is, before any of that, there are some more rewards, as if you needed any more. Of course we do. But you got Sophia out of the Soviet Union, so Maxime get 5 sanity points. You unfortunately, this is a bit of an up and down thing. Eventually, when you hear about John Palliser getting arrested, you lose 1d3 sanity points.
All of us.
Yeah, and but you're okay with all the rest of that. Saving Anna from arrest is a +4, 1d4 sanity points for saving Anna from certain arrest.
Nice.
You didn't kill Ian Beckett, so that's a good thing. And getting an award of an MBE, plus 1d6 sanity points.
Woo!
Ooh.
I am the sanest I've ever been in my life.
I'm not, but I'm not far off. Did that time in the country get rid of our indefinite insanities?
I'm going to say yes, it did.
Oh, you're just so sweet.
Oh,
Because I'm going to leave you with the cloud that one day Gottman is going to come and visit you, and then see
that's a
what happens there.
horrible,
Oh,
horrible
Well, hopefully
thought.
it's just a meal.
But
You know, something-
I
Yeah,
think
but
we
what's he
probably
going to eat?
Yeah,
should
I'm
draw
going to
things
to-
serve him.
draw things to a close with each of you just giving a quick summary of either what happens next for you or how things go. Just a quick kind of sense of what happens to your character in the next few years or life. If you want to sum up in one way or another, please. Any volunteers to go first?
Sure. Eleanor becomes an author of fiction that is sort of in the style, it kind of feels hyper-realistic, but it's sort of also somewhere between Fleming and Lovecraft. But there's some definite truth to the things she says.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Okay.
Nice. Georgina
you
has
branch into children's stories as well. With bizarre flying cars and things.
Very good. Okay, Georgina then, yeah?
Georgina has an exhibition of very interesting primitive art, sculptural pieces. People are very impressed with her kind of futurism, her modernism, and her kind of obvious influence by the Russian school. The MBE does wonders for her reputation. She's accepted by the Royal Society of Art as a fellow. And never marries.
Oh.
Okay. Jayson or Lynne, who's next?
Or
Ladies
Maxime.
first.
Oh. Right. Well, Francis obviously still has this compulsion to do good works and penance for his things. So obviously he can't really go off and become a monk or a priest, seeing as he's married and has a child. So he just basically throws himself into doing a whole load of charity work and community work with the poor and the disadvantaged, just to try and assuage the guilt of having hacked somebody's head off. Yeah. And he and Anne have more children, and they're blessed with the birth of another little boy who he names Harry in memory of his
Oh.
beloved uncle.
Very good. Okay. Jayson. What happens to
Okay.
Maxime?
So I think so Maxime definitely gets into the kind of club scene and networks a lot with Phoenix's friends and so on in London. He does a lot of stuff there, as he kind of always has, but he now has new people to mingle with and, of course, do lots of dilettante activities with. Sophia is very happy as well with Maxime's mother, who kind of unofficially adopts her, if you will, as a granddaughter. As for Maxime's relationship, I did double check, and they were technically only engaged. So whilst Maxime's sanity is nice and high, so he doesn't kind of break down in terms of his true feelings, their relationship does unfortunately just fizzle out. They don't quite click the same as before.
Your life has changed dramatically.
Exactly.
When you return. Yeah.
So they part their separate ways. Whether Maxime does anything or not, he certainly not for a little while. But what he does do is he invests in a memorial for Ed to be kind of erected in his Cambridge University. and kind of does a lot of charity work of kind of suicides and things like that, and trying to, invest more in that. So yes.
Very good, very good. And who knows, with such illustrious careers that follow, who knows when the call will come to turn your hand again to save the earth from the terrors from beyond that you now know are real. But I'm sure that won't haunt your nightmares very often. And I'm sure the thought of Gottman turning up on your doorstep, or a strange letter appearing in about 10 years' time with an invitation to some meal with a Mr. Gottman, it will all be water off a duck's back by then. But but other than that, there is one last thing to say, very last summary to do. With Hoover's presence gone, the work on the Bellamore Canal continues to be an enormous undertaking. By 1932, 100,000 prisoners at the camp in Karelia have been working on the canal. It's a remarkable effort, but the propaganda value to the regime overshadows the impact of the infrastructure itself. In 1933, a brigade of 120 leading Soviet writers toured the canal. They're encouraged to see the work as an enlightened gift to the criminals who were undertaking it, a chance to redeem themselves through industry for the people. Most do see it that way, and therefore gain no idea of the immense human suffering, somewhere in the region of 25,000 deaths in the first full winter of the work during 1931 and 32. The canal is completed in 1934 with various promotions and decorations and eulogies for those involved. The canal is still in use in the 21st century, but it doesn't provide a great civil or military value. Originally intended to be 22 feet in depth along its length, it was soon reduced to 12 feet to ensure fast enough progress in its construction, with some parts measuring just 6 feet deep, making it suitable only for shallow craft barges and passenger vessels. The Bellamore Canal and the work of the people on it is a real thing. And so, it's partly to, remember and commemorate the lives of the people lost on building the canal. That is a sobering thought within a game, but one worth mentioning and highlighting that within history there's dark and light, and shedding a little bit of light onto a piece of dark history is never necessarily a bad thing. So just to end on a downer, sorry, but but I thought it was worth sharing that as well. So there you are. That was The Dead Within. Thanks for everyone playing. I hope you had a good time. Did you?
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
thank you.
very
Yes,
much.
really did. Yeah.
And thanks for watching, whether you've been watching along live as we've done it week to week, or are watching on the reruns on YouTube or wherever. Thanks for watching, and thanks for helping us with this playtest of this campaign, which will be out as a book at some point in the future once we finish knocking it into shape and get it out there. So you can give it a go yourself and learn from how we did it, and hopefully have even more fun. So yes, so there you are. So thanks again, and we'll see you all again soon, I guess. So take care. Bye for now.
Take care,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay, stay safe.